Well, first off, I was supposed to be here 30 years ago. I was stuck out on the East Coast, and I finally made my way out to Oregon, in Portland, about 3 years ago.
Right.
And surprisingly enough, I had come across some striking things that were quite alarming, and things that were concerning to me, having to do with testing. Test technology in the state.
Yeah.
And what I found since I've been here is, number one, I started having these not illusions, but actual hearing things around me that never happened before, and it started very subtle, and
Once you got in Oregon, it happened?
exactly.
Yeah.
Prior to this, I had
Didn't happen.
never come across any type of hearing things, and anything along those lines. And these things that I was hearing were having to do with smearing, like a smear campaign
Oh, yeah.
type thing. And I started coming across people that were trying to smear me in Portland. And I didn't know why this was going on. I didn't know why it was happening or how it was happening. All that I knew is that it concerned me. They were false, what was spoken, most of them. Some of them were true, that they spoke of Portland. And,
Did you figure out the connection between the coast and Portland?
well, yeah, I did, because to make a long story short, these sort of increased into actually connecting with third eye projections that many people have anyways. But I was having these third eye projections that I could actually see that were sent up from parallels below us. And that's part of the whole testing thing. They're using screenshots and third eye projections to test on people in a public thoroughfare. And that was my main issue, that this was occurring. And it's not just me. Many people in Portland and other test areas in the state have been suffering from this.
So it corroborated your story.
Right,
That's
exactly.
true.
There's a ton of people who have heard about this. There's a ton of people that have been dealing with it for quite some time. And needless to say, it seems to follow me where I go.
Have you figured that out?
Yeah, absolutely. What I do is I transfer these spirit forms that are in these parallels below into me and up and out to untrap them from below, which sounds weird, and it is weird.
Like
really.
a channel.
Like a channel, exactly. And I channel these energies up into me and then up into the ether. To untrap them, to help for our next lifetimes, and also to just help people in general, because these spirit forms are connected to many in the area, and actually many that have come way before we did. You know what I mean?
Right. There could have been that here in the culture before we got here.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, maybe you're like a natural conduit. Do you have any reason, or why do you think you might be the one to do that?
Well, because I'm Aaron, and I have a close connection to our second coming, Jesus. And I wasn't named Aaron by accident. You follow?
Well, what's the significance of that?
Well, I was his helper in a past lifetime, mind you. But yeah, it gets kind of really arcane and different talking about this, and I know it might seem a little bit out there and far out, but it's actually much truth has come out because of this whole thing with the test technology. That people are finding some of these secrets that have went, not talked about in our country, and others are finally coming to light now because of this.
Well, I was wondering if you have a professional background that helps you understand this better.
Not necessary.
Or education.
I came here and I was big. All right, when we are made and sent here, our spirit forms can be anywhere from colossal to very small, if from afar. The further away you are and sent here, usually the smaller they are.
Kind of like reincarnation in a way.
Kind of, but not really.
A
Kind of, but
different
not
form?
really. Well, we have parallels to many places, and because of these parallels, we connect with these areas that are away from here, so to speak. And to make a long story short, there's many of us that are from other places, if you know what I mean, living not only in Oregon and these test areas, but many places.
So once you have this information, what can you do with it?
Well, we've come across some alarming things that are occurring to the general public with this whole ordeal, and hopefully they'll get it into gear and do something for us. That's what we're hoping for, and if not, we might have to do something along the lines of having to do with something in court.
Has anybody listened to you yet?
Absolutely, a ton.
So you
A
have
ton.
people who are sympathetic.
Mostly, although they're having to listen to these confusing things that they project through audio and visual to people to confuse them and other things. I can't get into too much of the mind and body control thing because they don't like that one. So I'm gonna keep it gray right now on that. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm wondering if you would call it antagonistic or sympathetic.
People's response to me?
No, the intent of the messages.
Oh, antagonistic by far, except for when our friends from California and other places come to help. And, there's many working above to below, but the ones that are really not doing good for the community in general are the ones that are speaking from below up. And that's where we've been running into problems with people, is the ones that are down there in the parallel speaking up to us. You follow?
So it sounds like it really consumes a lot of your time.
It has, yeah. I spent whole days doing these. I consider myself a natural transfer casing, so to speak, and I spend a lot of my day transferring these up into myself and out because we've trapped so many of these spirit forms over the years. You follow?
And they're
because
released
of
at that
it-
point?
What's that?
Then they're released?
Yes. Unless they catch them or trap them again, with we call them sky pullers, and they're used to pull down and trap spirit form. Many of our clouds are spirit form that we need, And I don't want to go into that too much
Right.
because that's a secret from long ago,
But it just sounds like it would take all of your energy to do
It's
that.
taken a lot of my energy. It's caused me some very, very significant, so to speak, PTSD issues, and just depression some. And
It-
caused me a lot of anger for towards them and sadness because of what's occurred, and we haven't really tried to stop it until now.
It sounds slightly traumatic too.
Very much so.
I think-
It's very much so to me. I try to keep. I'm very much a positive thinker, so it does some. But luckily, I was given the gift of positive thinking from our friends, so it tends to be a lot easier to deal with.
Could you tell me, have you ever
Some,
been right? Have you ever been officially diagnosed with PTSD?
Yes, I have that depression.
They often go together.
Yeah, yep, and I don't even want to begin to go there about the mental issues and what they really are. I will not do that one right now.
Well, I think they're frequently misinterpreted.
Very much so,
You know.
and I can't go too far with that because they don't like that one, and I'm hoping for something of something that doesn't have to do with court. You know what I mean?
Right.
With this.
And it's unfortunate they're often antagonistic in that sense, that they want to
Well, you would think that because, well, they're perpetuating each other with these loops, they call them. And they're stuck in these loops, these spirit forms that they created, and the actual spirit forms are doing some of this up to us. But that's some. But then also there's others that are actually human form and other that are mixed, that look like us, that work through them up to us.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one, but
You have the
it'll all
ability
come
to
out if
distinguish.
necessary. What's that?
You can distinguish.
I can, yeah.
Yeah, not
I
everybody.
can. Yeah, there's many different types and forms of them.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm really good at those. And I'm really good at transferring up. And I'm good at some manifestation. I do that one too. And other things that I can't really talk about. You know?
How about grounding? Are you good at keeping yourself
not
grounded?
necessary.
No.
We're so full of this, and the clouds are that grounding out and disconnecting would stop the perpetuation of what I'm trying to accomplish, the good in all and the future of our place, you know?
But in a
It's
way,
a big deal.
in my thinking, I would think that would necessitate you'd have to have good self-care.
Yes, and that's what I struggle with now because of being consumed by this constantly. I find myself not taking care of myself physically like I wish to. You know what I mean?
Could you do that?
I'm trying. I am. I have work now. I've been doing some painting, and my hygiene has suffered, and I am homeless, and I feel like I'm stuck in homelessness too, and it's just having to do that stuff plus this is very, very alarming and just causes me a lot of grief.
It's a downward spiral sometimes.
Some, but I'm not going to let it get there. But it can be that, yeah, but I will not do that one. I won't do that one.
Could you share something about your art?
Well, my art, musician, some.
Uh-huh.
I play drums and have a very good ear for music. I don't really have an artistic, I don't draw or paint or anything along those lines, but I am attuned to music a great deal. And I guess you could call, the esoteric art too, in a sense, creating things that we like and love, as far as the spirit, how the spirit forms look. I can project with third eye images into the skies what I wish to have it look like like a goddess, for instance. I can project that from third eye projection and actually project it out and see a goddess forming, or a god, or Jesus, or even little weird ones, we call them weird ones, and I like doing those too.
So they're kind of anthropomorphic. They're kind of like human beings.
Well, not really. I mean,
No.
the actual spirit forms that I'm seeing are shaped like that, some of them, but they're actually not that. But what we're finding, I have to say that because it's a double-edged sword. Although they are that, we're a lot not that. Do you know what I'm saying? Not human.
It helps.
It's a weird one. I'm telling you.
Helps to differentiate.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, a lot of them don't even know that they're even here. A lot of people it goes unnoticed, and that's for a reason, a good reason. But we're finding, and now knowing with all that, it's important to start getting truth from people and start getting truth for the big picture, because if we don't have that one, we'll have nothing later, We can't keep running from the truth and hiding from ourselves. And
It's a burden.
Not only a burden, but it keeps us stuck. And me personally, I don't want to do that one,
Would you feel that you're a transcendent as a musician? That you have that ability to communicate?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's a form of communication?
Yes.
'Cause I think it's like
I have
wavelengths.
ties with somebody what was loved and liked very much in the 60s and 70s. John Lennon. That one. So that one.
He was a being who struggled
Yes.
to make his point.
Not by his own doing, though. And he went through a lot of disfavoring and
grief.
bad grief, man.
Sorrow.
They hammered him very badly, and his death was very unfortunate and not planned by him, obviously, or the ones at work up there. But it was a programming thing at the last moment, and it happened. So, and I don't want to go into those too much.
No.
Because those are, you know what I mean? I wouldn't wish to, you know.
But it's good to know kind of your spiritual background.
Oh, sure. A lot of people know their past life forms, you know, and some of them are even mixed, like a certain percentage of one person mixed with another percentage of another person, you know, and those were all created for a reason, you know. And unfortunately, it seems like the bigger ones that come here and the bigger spirit forms that are sent here to our place tend to be disfavored the most. And that, I don't understand at all. I mean, these are Hollywood stars, musicians. I mean, some of them get hammered the worst in this type of thing, and it's very sad, you know. Even by other countries, they're doing it to us some, you know.
Well, human beings tend to be greedy and selfish a lot.
Yes, very true. Very true.
So that could be
and we don't wish it to get any worse.
No, it's pretty rough times.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So it sounds like you're doing good work.
Absolutely good work. It feels like I have a lot of help from up there and afar, but as far as people here helping me here, underneath, not much at all, one or two. On ground level, some. You know, I mean, the whole community, I mean, since I've been here, I've been homeless the whole time. And the community has footed my bill, pretty much, because other people that were responsible for seeing that I was taken care of aren't dishing out. So I'm having to do this one, and I don't, you know, it's very concerning to me.
It's pretty common.
Is it? Yeah, I didn't know that one.
Pretty frequent.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, I worked in mental health here, so I know.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yep.
So often they don't step up to the plate.
Very true. Very true. I'm glad you were attuned to that one.
Yeah.
It's that is important too. But everything we've thought, or not everything we've thought about mental illness, but some of these things we've thought about them are totally not. They're not. They're not. You know what I mean?
Not true.
And that's the biggest shocker to me, because I always thought that that is that, but no, because many people actually are hearing it. So, and I don't want to go there with that, because they get pissed at me for that.
It could be like a paradigm shift, in a way.
People are
gaining new faculties, or
yes, it could be. Yep. Yes. Ah, good point. Yeah, I never thought of that one. That's what we wish it to be, though. If we know. So,
if you've ever penetrated that wall and seen what's on the other side.
Yes. Oh, yes. Done that one. Even with the partitions that they put there and the blocks. It's very concerning to me. It really is.
Yeah, I can see that. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I do. How long have you been in the field?
In mental health,
Yes, sir.
I've been in social services for 18 years. I did mental health for 16 years.
Portland for 2 years?
No, here on the coast.
Oh, okay. So you didn't do any work in
Nothing
Portland?
in Portland. I trained in Portland. I went to school there.
2 years?
Yeah, actually, I did. But my background was a little more alcohol and drug. So
I struggled with that for 30 years, and I still, not now, I don't struggle with it now. God. But for a long time, I was stuck, man, in this loop, chasing my own tail, and that was very concerning to me too. And I had to really get it together. I had to do some hard lessons, to get there. And we're even finding some of that is attributed to other people, unfortunately. And that one blew my mind.
What did you struggle with the most?
Varieties of. I did many different types and things like that, and it wasn't any one thing, more or less. It was trying different ones. I would rotate, so not to get hooked, but it ended up getting hooked on pretty much everything at one point or another. But I've done a lot of treatment too, so that's good. I've done a lot of drug and alcohol therapy and treatment over the years, and that's really helped me get to know myself better. And that I'm very grateful for. Very grateful. and I'm grateful to even be where I'm at and doing what I'm doing. It's just very alarming, and it's hard. It's a really tough one, man.
Yeah.
It really is.
A lot of people
And
are
a lot of
struggling.
people are knowing this stuff finally and are able to even talk about it. And we're going to have to do some of that, or else we're going to be stuck. And I don't wish that on anybody.
A lot of people end up hurt.
Tortured, hurt, physically, even physically. They're able to do these. They have such powerful screens now that in these parallels are able to transfer up these images that some see in their third eye view, and they're able to manifesting it, because the person sees these projections and actually believes that they're there, so it manifests it more, and then they start getting physical pain and anguish, and some of these poor souls are tortured big because of it.
It's a
We will not say who yet, though. That's doing it.
It's kind of a somatic reaction, where you manifest in your body.
Sure it is. Sure it is. That's what alarms me the most, is that they're actually having some of these people, so we say people, manifest it themselves. They're pushing it on them so that they manifest it and harm themselves even with their own thoughts.
Yeah.
And that is scary.
That's a frightening
It's very
idea
scary to me.
that would happen.
But I'm used to it now, so it doesn't really scare me anymore. But before and because of that, I have some scars because of it. I have some deep emotional and mental scars because of this whole thing. Never in my life have I experienced anything like it until I came to Portland. Nothing, none of it.
So
I was paranoid in the past, and I would think things about others, but never. This is like very interesting stuff, some, and not in others. It's very alarming, but knowing that there's help from other places is very comforting, but at the same time, it's not because I'm stuck. I feel stuck some, and I don't want to feel stuck anymore.
So you think coming to Portland is where it opened the pineal gland, the
I believe that is,
pineal
yes.
experience?
I believe that for fact, yep. And I also believe that there's parallels here that people don't speak of now. And we won't speak of them because we don't want to ruin it for everybody. You know what I mean?
I think they're more energized here. They're more tangible than they are in other places.
Big time. I would say that for sure.
That's the problem.
Good one.
Yeah, like they talk about ley lines, they have all this conflicting energy that just short circuit. And
yeah, they have this ability to direct it into us, and it's alarming stuff, and it goes untalked about until now. People are talking about it some now, more like they're able, I call it think talk, and they talk about it through this think talk stream, and transfer it to others that others hear even as a communication means, and which is really cool, I think, that part of it. And that's what it was given to us originally for. But people have abused it so much and changed it into torture, the industry, the sex industry, and many other things, and
it's abused.
They've really kind of screwed it for us. Some.
I think just living in the type of culture we do does that.
Yeah,
Where people are isolated and they don't communicate.
Exactly.
It's like, I blame capitalism, but I don't. Maybe other people have a different idea.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I have some interesting thoughts on that too, but I'm not going to go there. I just think that this is a very good area. I mean, Oregon in general is a very cherished, good place. A very cherished and good place. And people come here for refuge even, some of them. But we're finding that we've done some pretty unfair things to these ones that are good ones. You know what I mean? As far as like pulling their spirit form down and encasing it in these enclosures. And it's very saddening to me, that part of it. But if we do the right thing and let these spirit forms up and out of here, well, we'll find that they'll return to help. But if we keep them trapped here, to keep them stuck, to make the area what it is, it won't come up with good results for our future. It won't. It just won't happen.
Well, I think
because they don't want this one, you know?
The part I like is that it's like the karmic thing where everybody's released together to work to gain mass consciousness.
Very good.
So,
very good.
Ascending.
I believe that too. Yeah, well, I think that, but see, they're making it so hard, turning it into the step-by-step process, and they have so many fail-safes that you're having to deal with those now. So, and then that's a whole nother thing in itself, work, having to do that stuff, you know? It's hard stopping these fail-safes, you know, that keep us, the fail-safes that keep us stuck doing what they want us to do rather than what they want us to do. You know what I'm saying? And many of us are that. So why they would even wish to do that, we don't know. We just don't know that. Why?
Well, it sounds like you have a good connection.
Very much so. Very finally, you know. And I always knew I did. I just didn't know how. And since I've come here, I've learned that. I've learned that, you know, how to do those ones. And I'm deeply grateful for that.
I think it's the West Coast.
It's a polarity to the East Coast, as many things are.
They're so different.
I mean? I was stuck out there for a long time, and I always knew that I was supposed to be here. I just never, it felt like something was blocking that. And all of a sudden, when I was in Vermont, living there, suddenly I had to come here. I had to come to Portland. Like it was just, this block was removed, and then all of a sudden I came. And that just goes to show me that you can't really change destiny too much, you know? And I wasted a lot of time out there when I should have been here.
Well, it's a huge polar shift. It's like a paradigm shift you've done.
Yep. And I don't know a heck of a lot about those, but I understand what you're saying. You know, I understand polarities, how they work, and how these, and they even have come up with this technology, these units they call them, that in these units, things are enclosed in it. These spirit forms, they trap it into these units, and these units are able to pick certain, how would you say it, these future shots, and with this spirit form, humans are actually able to pick a frame of time for the future and change it some. It's mind-blowing stuff, friend.
It's powerful.
Very powerful, but concerning because they've abused it. You know? And that's my main concern with this whole ordeal, is that they've misused it, they've used selfish intentions with it, and they've really done things to people in general, keeping us stuck and harming them. And that I don't do that one well. You know what I mean?
I think you could use more allies.
Absolutely. Okay. And we'll get it together. We know for a fact we'll get it together.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. I need to connect more with people like this rather than the other way.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I'm saying? And unless they come up with something to help me, the ones in charge, then I wouldn't do that as much. I'd still keep letting them up, but I wouldn't speak it. You follow? So that's what I'm waiting for. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.